Well, hello. I didn't really expect to be making another video right now, but reading an exchange of emails from my cousin through Facebook, I felt that I needed to make this video while the emotions are present. The title for this video is We Are Told to Love One Another. I have friends and relatives who hate Muslims, or even other Christians who believe differently. It seems many of those who profess a religion have had their minds poisoned so badly that all of their religious beliefs are distorted. It's a far cry from the teachings of the one who is called the Christ or Messiah. Sadly, they don't even see how far off center they are. With all of my heart, I wish God would pour out His Spirit so powerfully that we would all be transformed into more loving people, that we would focus on what we hold in common rather than fighting over our differences. To me, our differences could enrich us rather than disempower us. Indeed, my cousin is one of four siblings, and two of them don't communicate with her, just like three of my siblings don't communicate with me. Of course, my brother does communicate, and my other brother was killed as a missionary to Colombia several years ago, back, what was it, 1994 maybe, I'm guessing, somewhere in that proximity. In any case, it brings sadness to my heart, almost tears to my eyes. I feel as if I could cry when I see the distortion that has been caused by the cabal who created religion. I want you to know that God never created a religion. Not a single one comes from God. They were all created by people. All of them. And in the case of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, unfortunately, they have been even more distorted than the two major religions of the East, Hinduism and Buddhism. Although none of the religions measure up to the central core of what religion, or I should say spirituality, or even more importantly, I should say life itself, teaches us that we are interconnected. We are not separate. We may have separate bodies. We may have minds that can go in different directions, but there's an interconnection. Somebody's at my door. I don't know. But in any case, I'm going to continue. The door didn't open. It just started edging back toward me. It's not tightly closed, as I usually have it. In any case, this exchange of Facebook communication with my cousin broke my heart. Because, as I said, it's such a far cry from what the one we call Jesus taught us. It's such a far cry from the foundation of all truth. Don't we see, can't we see how much of a distortion our religions are, our belief systems are? Don't we see the wedges that have been driven between people, even in single families? Don't we see this? Why can't we wake up? Why can't we get our act together and do what we've been told from the beginning? By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, the Master taught, if you have love one for another. Not if you love those that love you. Who is your brother? Who is your sister? Everyone is. Everyone is connected to you, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. There's a web of life, and we're all part of that web of life. We're all interconnected, and that which has created the division is our enemy, not our friend. Not our friend. And that includes the many myriad of religions and religious indoctrination that has come down to us through the ages. Christianity has long been distorted, long been distorted. The Islamic faith or Muslim faith, distortions, distortions, distortions. Judaism, the Messianic Jews may be closer to having it right. Who knows? I do know that in my own family, as I said, religion has not been something that has united. It has been that which has divided us. There was a time when my sister and I, my middle sister, we were so close. She actually paid her tithes to me at one point, but then she decided that I wasn't Christian enough for her because I embraced a wider spectrum of people, namely everyone. What a concept. Even people that didn't claim to be Christians, I embraced them as my brothers and sisters. And I still try to do that to the best of my ability, because I think that's what love one another is all about. I think that's what spiritual teaching is supposed to center on. Not who's right, not which scripture is the right scripture, not which dogma is the right dogma. I mean, all the nonsense in the name of God. If that's God, God is a devil, but God's not a devil. God just gave us enough freedom to go our own way if that's what we chose, and we chose it, starting with apparently Lucifer, who was the brightest of all angels, but wanted to be equal with God. Not just part of God, but actually superior was the thing. It's the ego thing. And it's been the ego thing all along. People have tried to lord it over others. Beings, created beings, made in the image of God, have tried to lord it over one another and be superior. That comes from a distortion of our being. It's not our reality. Why can't we see that? Why can't we wake up? Why can't we get our act together and do what we were told from the beginning? Can't we see? Can't we see that we're all dependent on the same web of life? We all breathe the same air. We breathe it in, we exhale it, and then it gets breathed in again by somebody else. It's the same air on the same planet. Why can't we wake up? Why do we have to allow the divisions created by someone who was not our friend to distort and to shield us from the truth that you are my brother and you are my sister, and that we are connected by the same life force, and always have been. Always have been. Even when we were deceived, we were loved, and we were allowed to go our own way. It's time, in my opinion, for God to stop the nonsense of freedom when the freedom takes away the freedom of others. Anyway, I've talked on that subject, and I will probably again. But I wanted to just re-emphasize how sad it makes me feel that another family in my family has the same schisms among the siblings as mine. Thank you for listening. Namaste.